Alright. Just give me a sec. I'm going to set up the stream here, but welcome everyone who's in. We're just going to have to here we go. Live stream here. Alright. Sorry, I'm just setting up this right now. Cool. So, welcome to Mainly Movies, the channel where we talk about, well, mainly movies. It's been a while since I've said that line. Basically, I've been away for ages, so I'll get started in a minute. Still setting things up here. But basically, yeah, I haven't made a video in ages. It's been a while. The last video I did was a review in June, which was last year, so there you go. We're still looking in the past in this live stream because today I'm going to be going through my top 10 favorite movies of last year, which I never got to do. I've been meaning to do it since the last video, pretty much. I've seen a lot of movies since then. I do want to make a specific video that just goes through all the movies, like a quick review of all the movies that I kind of watched in theaters this year, so I don't have to, like, I can just kind of catch up on them, like the Batman and all that sort of jazz. So yeah, so we're gonna go through that. Just before, I'm just gonna quickly just adding in the tags here. Sorry about this. Won't be too long. Alright, that should pretty much do it, I reckon. So it's the first time I'm doing a live stream on this channel, so bear with me. Just going through it now. Cool. Alright, well, we're live. Just going to take a sip of water. So just make sure in the descriptions below there will be a few links, and the links are to my Facebook page, which is the Mainly Movie Facebook page. So all the news, where I tell you I'm going to go live and whatnot, is all going to be on there. And then there's my Letterboxd account, which is just like all the movies. So if you've been following me on Letterboxd, you would have seen all the movies that I've reviewed, all the movies that I've added to my diary, and everything like that. So you would have basically seen already what movies I've seen this year. But if you haven't, that's fine. But the link in the description will lead you to my Mainly Movies Letterboxd account, which is the one that I use. And also a link to Mainly Gaming, which is my other YouTube channel where I do live streams of gaming and just play video games and talk crap about video games for ages. So yeah, I'm planning on doing more with that channel, but I haven't done as much as I have with this channel. But yeah, so I feel like I should get straight into the channel update, what I'm going to be doing, where I've been, what's going on. Also, feel free to ask me anything during this. It can be a Q&A sort of thing if there's any questions going on. But yeah, so after the June review, I wanted to do a whole bunch of reviews. I wanted to do um, reviews on movies that came out afterwards, obviously. And I wanted to do what this video is going to be, this live stream, which is my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Not of all time, of 2021, just of last year. My 10 favorite movies of just last year. So I was going to do that, but obviously things just kind of got in the way and whatever. And the plan was, originally the plan was that I was going to, after my Dune review, I was going to do a few movie reviews and a couple more videos, my top 10 movies of last year, and then I was going to make a video basically explaining that I'm going to be leaving the channel for a bit. And now that I've rethought about it, and my passion for movies is always there, so I just thought to myself, there's no reason why I should stop the channel. I want to keep going with the channel. I definitely want to keep doing it. So this is not a video saying that I'm going to leave the channel. Not at all. If anything, I'm going to try and bring the channel back now. But basically, yeah, I was going to take a break. It wasn't going to be a full goodbye. I was going to say I just wanted to take a break, maybe like a year or so off making videos. But now I've got the passion back. I want to make the videos. I want to keep bringing videos out, especially how I keep seeing the subscriber number go up, and I haven't made a video since 2021. So, but I saw the subscriber count go up, so I thought, I have to keep going with this channel. And I'm not forcing myself to do it. I want to do it, which is good. But yeah, I was gonna make that video, but it didn't end up happening. And so I've always, for the past few months or so, I've been contemplating how many videos I'm going to do on what, and just edit all these videos. I was just thinking it's going to be too much. So then I thought to myself, well, I've been doing live streams on my Mainly Gaming channel. So I thought, why not do live streams on this channel? So hopefully once a month I will be doing I want to be doing just a live stream talking about things. It's just like movie news sort of thing. I'll probably get better at it. This is just kind of this is just a draft. This isn't the full thing. This is just quickly. I just wanted to make this video, explain to you guys where I've been, the updates, where I'm going, and then we'll discuss some movies. We'll discuss the movies that I loved from last year, which I've got 10 of them, and it's a pretty good list, in my opinion, obviously. And remember, this is my opinion. If anyone watching this, definitely put your top 10 favorite movies of last year down. I would love to hear what they are, or even just the best movies you've seen this year, which would be great. But so yeah, where I'm going with this channel, want to keep making videos, but like I said, I want to make a live stream once a month, just talking about movie news, talking about movies, what I've seen, and just kind of catching up with things. Live streams, they kind of just seem to be easy now to make, so definitely want to be doing that once a month. But then I'm also going to have my regular movie reviews out for movies that I'm going to be seeing onwards. I probably want to do a review on Top Gun Maverick because I saw that last Thursday, so I want to kind of talk about that movie as well. So yeah, this is probably going to be a live stream that, because there's nobody watching at the moment, there's going to be a live stream that people are going to hopefully watch afterwards. And if you do, awesome. That's fine. This is just going to be a video going through everything. I know it's just kind of boring just looking at me, so I'm going to try and make a thing. I've got some of the movies that I'm going to be talking about I've got here, so then I've got something to hold up. But I'll figure out later on how everything's going to look, and just kind of keeping everything looking interesting. So so like I said, gonna do these live streams, and I'm gonna do some more movie reviews, obviously. I want to kind of bring back Is It Really That Bad? Because I have so much fun doing that. We did actually, after my Dune review, or actually it would have been before my Dune review, around the time I was doing my Halloween horror specials last year, I was planning on doing a Halloween horror special. Is it really that bad? And I was going to upload it on Halloween the same day as I did my Halloween 2 review. I was going to upload both of them on the same day. And I uploaded the Halloween 2. You can watch that one. But the the is it really that bad that I was going to do kind of failed. So the gist of is it really that bad, for those of you who might not know, is it's look, it's not an original idea. So you're probably thinking, oh, I've seen it done like this, I've seen it there. It's definitely not an original idea. But basically, we get pretty drunk watching a bad movie, and it's usually a movie that has a very low scoring, and we just kind of try and see the light in it and see if it is as bad as a lot of people are saying it is. And that's the whole gist of the video, and we give it like a pretty long review. So basically, I had two other people on for this specific Is It Really That Bad, the last one I was trying to do. And we were watching two movies. One of them I had already reviewed, which is Jacko, which was a horrible Is It Really That Bad. If you watch it, one of the cameras that I used was just like because I didn't have two cameras, and the couch was too big and there wasn't enough room to show everyone in the one camera. So I needed another camera pretty quick, and I got one from like a family member, and the camera, I didn't check the camera quality, so I just went blind and just shot it using that camera. And I didn't realize until like I edited it that the footage, it was just horrible looking. It was terrible. So I had to, and I was like, oh man, I kind of promised this video, so I had to release it. So I had to put these Jacko borders on the side because it had a really shitty aspect ratio. So I had to kind of work my way around it somehow. It was kind of a terrible fucking video. So last year we were going to watch. So the director of Jacko, his name's Steve Latshaw. I went and looked into his IMDb to see if he had any more movies that we could possibly watch. There was another one called Death Mask. And so we watched that movie because somebody had uploaded it for free on YouTube. I don't condone watching movies for free or whatever, but that was kind of the only way we could find it. I wasn't going to spend $30 on a DVD from eBay on this particular movie. So what I did was we watched it. We watched both of them back to back, and one of our friend who was there hadn't seen Jacko as well, so he was going in blind with both of them. Anyway, we watched both of them, and we started to do the review, but because it was two movies, it was like in total kind of like 4 hours, and we were just constantly drinking, and we were playing drinking games while we were watching these. By the time we got to filming those reviews, we were just completely gone. And so I was trying to set up the cameras, and they were just like going crazy, and I was kind of going crazy because and we had this like I don't know, if you ever watch my Halloween horror special reviews, like the ones from last year, I actually set up down here on this couch here, but I put like a big black sheet behind it. I had to put up these poles and everything. It took ages to kind of, even though I enjoyed making those videos, it took ages to set up. And like I had to set all that up, and then we watched the movies and drunk heaps, and I had to take it all down while I was like pretty much drunk, and it was just a mess. And we started filming. I would love to see the footage, if I still have it somewhere, of just us like trying to review it, and we were just a mess. It was a complete mess. So that never ever got made. But I want to keep doing them. I would like to do another Halloween horror special. Is It Really That Bad? But I'd probably have to put a limit on how much we drink, because we went insane for that. Now, so yeah, I want to keep doing those. Halloween horror special is another good one. I love making those, so I'm not going to stop. I have a theme for this year, because last year's theme was 80s edition. This year's theme, I'm thinking of doing sequel edition, so it's just going to be sequels. So like Evil Dead 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Friday the 13th Part 2, Part 2 of Friday the 13th, Child's Play 2. I want to go into all of those ones. A lot of them will be like the sequels of the movies I talked about last year. But then there's other ones like I want to talk about like VHS 2 and things like that. So we'll definitely get into those there. So that'll be pretty fun. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't really given a good explanation as to why I haven't been making videos, but essentially I've just been very busy with work and yeah, and just catching up with people and doing all that sort of stuff. I've been pretty busy, so yeah, that's my excuse, I guess. Life has caught up to me, and I just had to, and I had to kind of had to stop for a while. But I'm back. I'm going to be making videos. I'm going to enjoy making videos because that's what I like to do. I've had this channel on for like 2 or 3 years now, and it's been fun, and I never kind of gave up on it. So that's pretty cool. And just to see, like, even though it's like I've only got 87 subscribers, that's still huge to me. That's still like 87 people watching my channel, 87 people who have like stuck with the channel as well. Especially haven't made a video in over 6 months or something. That's a pretty long time. So yeah. But now I reckon we're gonna get into my top 10 best movies of 2021. I made a list on Letterboxd, so if you followed me on Letterboxd, you'd probably seen this list. I don't think it's private. Oh yeah, it is private. Yeah, make this list public. Yeah. So it is private. After this video, I'll probably just make it public. But that's cool that I made it private. So actually, nobody got to see it. So it'll be the first time anyone gets to see it. Will be on this stream. So yeah, the first one that we're going to be talking about is actually one because the ones that I do have on Blu-ray, I'm gonna hold up and show. But a few of them I don't own on Blu-ray because a couple of them are like are harder movies to get. And a couple of them I had to even watch online because there was no kind of physical copies for me to buy. So, and that's the case with my number 10 pick of 2021. My number 10 pick of 2021 is the movie Titane, or Titane, or however you want to say it. The French movie Titane. So that movie it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. Actually, I feel like I want to I feel like I want to get like an image up while I do this. So I'm gonna do that now. Damn, there's like no images of this movie that are not like appropriate. Every image is pretty inappropriate. Damn, that's none of them are of like the right size as well, which is crazy. Never mind. Look, never mind. So yeah, Titane was my number 10 pick. Now I want to do like a bit of a review on each of these because I haven't been talking about movies for ages. So I've got all this. I've got all this. My reviews just going in my head. But basically, we've got Titane. It's a French film from the director. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing her name. But she directed the movie Raw, which came out in 2016 or 2015, I think. I've got the power of the internet right here. So, Raw 2016. All right, so it came out in 2016, Raw, which I did watch Raw before Titane, which kind of helped because I kind of knew what I was getting into. And she also did this other movie that I watched called Junior, which was a short film starring one of the girls that's in Titane and the main girl in Raw. But anyway, Titane, it's about a woman who... it's actually a very hard movie to explain. I liked it because of how creative it was and how there was just no boundaries. It just went wherever it wanted to go, which I liked. It's essentially about a woman who, um, I guess, has a fetish for cars, and she has sex with a car and becomes pregnant. But also at the same time, she is a serial killer, or she's some sort of assassin. She kills people. There's no real clear indication why she's killing people, but she is. Anyway, she ends up meeting with this guy, this old man, and pretends to be her son, and this guy thinks that she is her son. She disguises herself as a male and becomes her son, his son. Sorry, and yeah, it's a movie that it's like it's a relationship movie, but it's probably the most unique relationship movie that I've seen, and I definitely give it credit for doing that. And I think that it's a very, very beautiful movie. There's a lot of really, really good scenes. There's scenes that made me cringe, but there's also scenes that, like, there's one scene in particular, without spoiling too much, there's just one scene in particular with like a slow dance with her and the father with all these firefighters, and like it's kind of touching. And you get this chemistry, and you get this weird, like, this weird father son relationship movie, even though it's a woman disguising as a guy. So it's very creative, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. There wasn't really much I had negative with the movie. It just kept me engaged the whole time. I was just wondering what is next, and that's like my biggest compliment with a film, by the way, is just like having a film, because there's so much of the same stuff coming out nowadays. Like the other week I watched Spider-Man, No Way Home. Is that the new one? No Way Home. I watched that the other week, and I could just kind of predict everything that was happening. There was a few moments there here and there that I didn't, that kind of threw me off, but I could kind of predict a lot of things that were happening, and a lot of movies are just getting like that. So it was good to watch a movie that I was just wondering what was going next. And keep in mind, I watched this movie like months and months after it released, so I had tried to avoid spoilers everywhere. Um, but I really, really did enjoy the movie, and I thought that it was just pure creativity, something that I'd never seen before, and something that's caught my attention very good. And I can officially say I am now a fan of the director, because I liked Raw. I thought Raw was a good movie, and the short film that I watched as well was very interesting as well. Very good at body horror. It's like almost like Cronenberg esque, but it borders on like realism. Cronenberg goes into like wacky, weird, alternate world scenarios, whereas T-Tane kind of keeps its ground. Well, the director's movies kind of keep its ground, but also has like really weird, wacky shit that goes on throughout it. All right. Also, I'm wearing my Northman hat, which I saw this year. I'm probably gonna do like a review, like in that video, where I'm gonna talk about all the movies that I watched this year. I'm gonna talk about The Northman for sure, because it's probably my favorite movie of the year, and it's a movie that's getting kind of beaten down by the box office, which is, I kind of knew that was going to happen, but it still is a bit sad. Robert Eggers continues to be like one of my favorite directors, and it definitely exceeded my expectations as well. It was pretty cool. I actually went and saw it with a friend, and he didn't like it. And then another one of my friends went and saw it, and I asked him what he thought, and he was like, "I don't know what to think about it." It is a very mixed movie. The way that they market it. Sorry, I can't even say that. The way that they advertised it, I should say, is like this big revenge, brutal Nordic revenge film, and it is that, but it's just it lacks the like the modern movie touch, and it goes into like territory that I prefer, that I like, where it goes more stylistic, and we get a lot of like Nordic references and things like that. But I'll go into that eventually. So my number 9 pick of 2021 one that I did a review on. It was my last review before this video, actually, and I have the steelbook here of it, and that is June or Dune or whatever you want to say. I feel like I said it like five different versions in the review. I was like June and then Dune and then June. I'm just gonna call it June. I don't know. We're just gonna go with Dune. Let me just refresh this stuff. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, so we're just gonna call it June. But I got the steelbook, awesome steelbook, probably one of the best steelbooks that I own. It just looks really nice. Now, as you would have known, I rated this movie very highly. I enjoyed it a lot. There was a few things in it that like kind of bothered me, like the darkness, which I remember seeing a comment on that video saying like they didn't have a problem with the darkness. Maybe it was just a theater, whatever. But it definitely wasn't the theater because I saw it twice in theaters. Both times were just like very dark, and then I watched it again on 4K on my 4K screen, and again it was quite dark. But I had the power of brightening my TV up, so it wasn't too much of a problem. It's not too much of a problem. I just think that, and the person who did the cinematography for this, the director of photography for Dune, is also the director of photography for the new Batman movie. And that's one of my complaints with that movie as well, that a lot of the scenes are too dark. So I don't know what it is with that DP that just wants to, or that cinematographer that has to go with like a darker lens. I don't know what it is, but hey, who cares? But yeah, I am very much looking forward to what they're going to do in part 2, because the original Dune movie with the David Lynch one is a movie that it's a movie that it's good up until a certain point where the movie just rushes itself, and I didn't like that aspect. The fact that it just kind of like rushes the last 20 minutes, and the last 20 minutes could have been a awesome film on its own, but they just had to quickly rush it because they wanted it to be one film, which is sad, but that's just what happened. So, but this movie, at least this time with Dune, they are taking their time with it. It gets to a certain point. It gets to actually a very interesting point, about the point where in the original movie, where that starts to speed up, this is where that movie ends. So the last 20 or so minutes of the original Dune movie is what's going to be put into like a 2.5 hour, maybe even 3 hour long film in part 2. So there's a bit of knowledge for you. I honestly think that this was it was great. It was a really, really good time, and it was a movie experience I'm not going to take back, because it was so good seeing it, and especially in VMAX, which I know in America and all that they have IMAX, but VMAX is pretty much the same. It's like a giant theater, huge film, like huge screen, and like the sound is just awesome. So it was great to watch it in that. There are times in this movie as well where the sound and the music goes a little overboard, and that was a lot of people's complaints, but I never really had too much problem. I thought that it was pretty good, and it does help watching the David Lynch movie or reading the book before watching this, because it just kind of jumps in with the lore. So I am glad that I watched the David Lynch movie, because I was really trying to follow that movie, and I understood a lot of it. And then when I went to watch this, I knew what they were talking about. I knew what scenes were coming up, and it was really good to see Denis Villeneuve do an attempt on Dune, and it was really good. So that was that. The next one, I have the Blu-ray as well, the 4K, was one that I reviewed as well. The Last Duel, which is one that was a mixed movie for a lot of people, but I thought it was unique. It was, a lot of people were talking about the accents. I don't know if I mentioned that in my review, but the accents were pretty awful sometimes. But the fact that they're all meant to be playing French people, that, like, the whole accent thing just kind of went off on me, because I knew that they were all meant to be playing French people. So, and none of them had French accents. So I just went with it. Um, the movie is really good. The See, now looking back on it, I did like this movie, and I will still put it as my eighth spot on the list. But looking back on it, there were times when I was watching the movie where it got to like the third story, and I'm like, we're seeing this again. And I think there's four stories all up, from what I can remember, and we're just seeing it again. And it's like a little bit's different because it's from somebody else's perspective, but it's just like you're watching it again, and you're like, all right, let's get somewhere. But at least the last one doesn't drag on too much because everyone's got the gist by then, and every perspective is interesting of their own. It's a little too long to be a movie about three different perspectives, but when you get to the final fight, man, that is awesome. Like that goes down with like Gladiator, like the movie Gladiator. I just wish that was longer and throughout the movie more. But yeah, the ending fight scene for this is just crazy brutal as well. Um, so yeah, there's not much I can really say about the Last Duel because I mean I already like June and this because I've already reviewed. There's not much I can really say on it, and man, my throat is getting pretty dry. So all right, we're going to talk about my number 7 pick of 2021. I have it on Blu-ray as well, right in front of me, and that is a movie that I never got to review. But I wish I did because it's a fantastic movie. It's actually a very beautiful movie, and that is Spencer. Probably, from what I've seen, Kristen Stewart's probably best performance. She was really, really good as Princess Diana. Just the struggle of everybody wanting you to be something that you're not, and she really nailed that aspect. Also, I'm not farting, by the way. It's just my chair. I know that's what they all say, but that's just what it is. All right. But yeah, so she was really, really good, and she not only performance wise was she good, but like physically, she looks almost identical to Princess Diana, which was fantastic. Pablo Larraín's style, like the camera that he used and everything like that, just it bleeded the 1990s or the 1980s, I think it was, that it was shot, and it really felt like we were being transported into that era in Britain, in UK. I think it's in the UK, but it only takes place over 3 days, and there's just moments that, like, even though this is a movie that you'd probably think not much happens, there's a lot of kind of memorable moments for me. There's like a dance number as well. There's a scene where she's like talking to like almost like a ghost, and that was really good. And just the kind of climax as well, when she stops like the shooting range to grab her kids, and then they get in a car and that song plays, All I Need Is a Miracle. That was awesome. I honestly got goosebumps. I had a massive smile on my face watching it. I was like, it was great. It was a good time. I went and saw that by myself in theaters. There was only like 2 other people. It was opening day. I remember I saw Nightmare Alley as well the same day, which is also another fantastic movie, which I'm going to talk about as well. But that movie is not on this list, unfortunately. But it was a fantastic movie, and I do recommend watching that. But yeah, so Spencer was really good, and that was also like the first time. Even though I've seen so many movies in theaters, I go to the movies nearly every week, but that was the first time I've ever seen 2 movies in one day in the theaters. I saw Spencer early in the morning by myself, and then I did some stuff, and then later on I picked up my friends and we ended up seeing Nightmare Alley, which was so sad because Nightmare Alley was I'm just going to refresh this, hold on. It was sad because Nightmare Alley, we saw it, and it was the opening night of Nightmare Alley, and we were the only ones in the theater. Now, I hate when that happens. Like, I don't like being in a crowded theater, but I don't like being in a theater by myself, or like me and a friend just by ourselves, because it's sad, especially on opening night. I know that movie, there was no real problems with that movie. A lot of people went and saw it. It was just that day, it just, yeah, it was kind of horrible, but we sat down and we paid attention and we really enjoyed it. It was a good time. But yeah, so that's Spencer. That was my number 7 pick of 2021. And I also have my number 6 pick for 2021, which is the movie starring Nicolas Cage called Pig. I don't know if any of you saw this movie. It was kind of a movie that flew under a lot of people's radars, and it was a movie that was so like mismarketed. It was crazy. But hold on, I'm just gonna get some water because my throat is getting dry. Probably talking too much. I don't know. Cool. All right. Yeah. So Pig was such a surprise because I was hearing so much about this movie. This was a movie last year, as well as another movie which I'm going to be talking about on this list, where it was a movie that I had to endure, like trying not to get the movie spoiled for me, because all the reviews and all like when it released in America, it came out like 3 or 4 months before it actually released for us, which was always terrible for me. So I had to like try not to get the movie spoiled, but I went with a friend to see the movie Pig, and it was the craziest film. Like, there was times where we were both just laughing, and there was times where we were like, there was very intense moments. But it's a movie that advertises itself like a John Wick revenge film. But when you watch it, it's a movie about like a chef recovering his past and like returning back to what he was, because it's about a reclusive man played by Nicolas Cage, who owns a truffle pig, and the truffles that the pig finds, he sells them to like a dealer, to like Alex Wolf, who works for this restaurant or owns a restaurant or something like that. He works for a restaurant, and he uses those truffles for his restaurant. Nicolas Cage, yeah. And then one day the truffle pig gets stolen, and now he's trying to find and hunt down the people who stole his truffle pig, which is a crazy premise. But when you watch the movie, it makes sense, and it's just a movie about him going back to what he was, and all these people just remembering him, because he was like a big chef and everything like that. And so yeah, it's a very, very crazy film, but also very fantastic. And there was one scene in this movie which me and my friend laughed our ass out, because it just screamed Nicolas Cage. There was like a scene where he just randomly stole a bike from the front of somebody's house, and he's like, this dramatic music's playing. This guy's just like, hey, and he's like, ah, and just screams in his face for no reason. And me and my friend were just cracking up laughing. It was great. It was really, really great. Now we're on to our number 5. So the number 5 pick for 2021 was a very bittersweet movie, and it goes with, I wouldn't say bittersweet, it's also very sad, but also very happy, and there's a lot of emotions going through this one movie, and it's more so a documentary. But it's a movie that goes with the Top Gun movie. It's a movie called Val. Now, this movie is about Val Kilmer. It's a documentary. Val Kilmer had recorded over 200 hours of just his life behind the scenes of movies from when he was a kid and up until now. And this movie takes all that footage and gets Val Kilmer's son narrates over it, and Val Kilmer's son sounds exactly like him, which was a great choice. And they just go through his life from when he was a kid to all the way to now, where he's unfortunately suffering from throat cancer. And so there's times where it interviews him now, and he's struggling to talk, and it's very, very hard to watch. And also, he had a very hard life early on, with one of his brothers sadly passed away when he was young, but that kind of also because his brother was really into the arts, performing arts and everything, so that kind of boosted him into doing it himself, or I think his brother was into filmmaking or something like that, something to do with movie making and whatnot, and performing. So that kind of boosted him to do it, and you see his life throughout the years. But like, it's cool because the movie has like chapters, and each chapter is like the big movies that he worked on. So there was like obviously one for Batman, Heat, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and Top Gun, obviously Top Gun. And so it was really cool, and yeah, it's a very very sad movie, but also very very heartwarming. I think by the end of it, I was crying. I think I don't. I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I think I was tearing up towards the end because it was pretty good, and it was good to see him. Like, there was just moments like that I never knew about, like when he was performing in a movie, performing on stage, and he was meant to be like the lead actor, and then he got moved to the second role because Kevin Bacon joined, and then he got moved to the third role because Sean Penn moved. But he said, I'm going to give this, whatever performance I get, whatever casting I get, I'm going to give it my 100%, and he did, and he was like a standout in it. And also another thing I didn't know was he worked in a film in the 2000s with Marlon Brando, and it like never got made, or if it did get made, it was like terrible. But it was like it was kind of like a cursed production. It went through like 15 different, well, not 15, but it went through like 4 or 5 different directors, and the producers had like no faith in it. It was going over budget, and Marlon Brando was like never on set, and he always got like this stunt double to play him. And this was like before Marlon Brando died as well. And it was just like a crazy production, and it's good for someone who, like me, who wants to get into the filmmaking industry, to see like a disaster production like that. It's kind of scary, but it's also like it gives me a bit of an understanding as to like what can happen. So yeah, Val. It's on Amazon Prime, by the way. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, definitely check it out. It's very 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 good, and yeah, it's only like an hour and a half long as well. So it's not like overly long, but it's really good. It's a movie that you might not really care too much about Val Kilmer as an actor, or you might not have really even liked him as an actor. But first of all, the movie will make you like him, and you can understand him watching this documentary. And it's not self-indulgent. It's just like him showing his life and his life along the way and all that. It's not overly self-indulgent. But also, if you're like me, who's just into films, it's a movie that goes into the filmmaking industry, and it goes a lot into reading scripts and going through a lot of stuff. So it's an all-round very, very good documentary / film. Now, this film that I'm going to be talking about this movie is actually very, very hard to talk about. This is actually kind of a weird film with its release, because from what I'm hearing, it's only just getting released now in other countries, or it's getting a really rough release. But I saw a screening of it last year in 2021. That's why it's on my list for number 4 of 2021. It's a fantastic movie, but the subject matter of the movie is the main thing of the movie, and what a lot of people are concerned about. But this movie is Nitrum, or Nitrum, however you want to talk about it. This movie, you might not have even heard of this movie. If you're in the States, United States, you might not have even heard of this movie because it's more significant to us in Australia. But Nitrum, I'm just going to call it Nitrum, is a movie which is it's essentially about Martin Bryant, who was he was a young man who committed probably one of the most heinous mass shootings in Tasmania in the early 90s, which is the reason that particular shooting is the reason to why we have very strict gun laws in Australia and Tasmania. Now, this is a hard one to talk about even now because of what happened in America, in Texas, I believe, a couple of weeks ago or a week ago with the school shooting which happened, which is a horrible thing, and it's definitely not something I really intended on talking about in this video, or talking about in general on this channel, because it's just such a terrible thing. But this movie is giving light to this person. Now, when I mean light, I don't mean it glorifies him or anything like that. No, this movie just shows you him. You know, there's movies like that just show you somebody, and there's a difference between showing you somebody and caring about that character. Like, showing a character and caring about that character are two different things, right? So you watch Spider-Man and you care about Spider-Man because the movie wants you to care about Spider-Man. But then you watch a movie like Joker, which is just off the top of my head, a movie like Joker, where it's a bad person and they just want to show you the character and not tell you what he does is right, but you can understand why he does it. There's backstory as to why it leads him to do crazy things. It's not telling you that the crazy things that he's doing are good. It's telling you that the crazy thing that he's doing is led by some sort of, something that happened that breaks the person, breaks the character. And Nitrum is a lot like that, but Nitrum is more about a kid that isn't all there, named in the movie. His name is Nitrum, by the way, which Martin Bryant, it was the real person that it's based off. Now, obviously, for reasons that are obvious, they didn't use his name Martin Bryant. So what they did was they just reversed the name Martin to Nitrum, which I was very confused at first. I didn't know why it was called Nitrum, and I didn't even know what this movie was until I saw that it was out. And there's a theater near where I live. Well, not near. It's actually in the city, which is further away from my house, but that I usually go to because it's like more sophisticated theater, and it shows a lot of the movies that don't get shown in the big theaters, right, in the big chains. It shows a lot of like the artistic films, and it was on there. I was just looking through, and it was on there, and I read the description, and then I realized what it was. It was about Martin Bryant, or it's a movie like based on Martin Bryant, the killer or the mass shooter. And this movie just goes through like what sort of happened, and then like the alleged stories of why people think he did what he did. There's no actual, and it's from Justin Kurzel, I think his name is. He did Macbeth, the one with what's his name, Michael Fassbender. So I'm gonna get some more water. My throat is getting really dry. Alright, yeah, he did that movie, but he also did another movie which completely frightened the shit out of me, knowing it, because the other movie that he made, Snowtown, is even worse because it's closer to where I live than this. And this movie happened this movie takes place in like the early 90s. Snowtown happened, I think Snowtown was in the 80s, but it was just like a crazy thing, like crazy coincidence, and it's disturbing what happened with people being put into bodies and they put them in acid in barrels and like just really disgusting, disturbing things, and like sick, depraved. If you ever got the time, watch Snowtown, because you understand the story a bit more if you watch the movie. But it's from the same director as that, so he has a history of making like disturbing serial killer Australian stories. And so yeah, he wanted to make this. He wanted to like kind of show, and all the things that happen with this character in the movie are like based on what people or based on stories that people told about like how this person was led to doing what he did. It's not set in stone saying that this is exactly what he did, but there's like a lot of evidence as to this being the build up to the thing. There's like a lot of moments that you can look either way. Like maybe he didn't actually do that, or he did, but or like he said that he didn't do that, but maybe he actually did, you know. And yeah, and I gotta find his name now. The Caleb Landry Jones or Laundry Jones is the guy who plays Nitrum, and he was also very fantastic as the character. Like, it was completely unrecognizable, and it was really good to see like that performance, like, because it's definitely a tough performance, and it would have been tough on him, but like he perfected it, and it was really well done. And there's a lot of differences between, like, if you watch interviews with Martin Bryan and like the character in the movie, there's a lot of differences, but there's also a lot of similarities. So yeah. So number 4 of 2021 was Nitrum. And now going into number 3, I'm just going to take some more water because for some reason my throat is getting really, really dry. Alright, cool. So I've got the Blu-ray of this one, 4K, I should say. Even though I can't use the 4K, I can only use the Blu-ray because it's an American region. But this is one that, if you'd watched my reviews last year, you would have heard me talk about this film and how much I anticipated. And I did do a review on this film. This was one that, like Pig, it was one that I heard so much about, and it came out months before I was even able to see it. This one actually, in Australia, if you're watching this from Australia, you can watch this on Amazon Prime, but I had to get like a physical copy of it because I love this movie so much. This was actually a movie that originally was my number 1 pick of 2021, but then 2 other films I saw kind of changed my mind a bit. But this is still definitely one of the most perfect films of 2021, and if you've seen my review, you would know what it is. But that is The Green Knight. I love this film. I watched it 4 or 5 more times after watching it the original time. I actually haven't watched, that's why it's still in the wrapper, but I haven't watched the Blu-ray yet. I've just been watching it on Amazon Prime because, I mean, it's there. The Green Knight is great. It's fantastic. I think on the board, like, everything it does perfectly. The color, the set designs, the cinematography, the performances, the writing, the directing. I think everything is really good, and it's a massive step up from, if you saw my review, you would have heard me talk about the director David Lowery. His last film was A Ghost Story, which was one that I was never really that big on. I understand what it was doing, but I feel like it was just a movie that was kind of unnecessary. It would have worked better as a short film because, like, it was one of those films that was like a short film idea that just got extended into a feature-length film. But with The Green Knight, it was obvious he had a passion for it. And that goes to show you that, like, a director can make a film that you're not a big fan of, but then you can watch their other films and enjoy those, you know. So, yeah, but The Green Knight was fantastic. It was great. It was really, really good. The special effects as well, although they were kind of very minimal, they were amazing. They made this world very lived in and just awesome. The scene with the giants and even the fox was really cool. And even just the practical effects and the makeup and the prosthetics of the Green Knight himself was awesome. Was so great. I even went on the A24 shop that they have online and bought. There's like it's almost like D&D, but it's like its own RPG version of this game, and it's run by like an honor system instead of like health. You've got like honor, and it's either you go very good, and it's all by your choices, and whatever choices you make will lead you to have good honor or bad honor. And so I think that's what sold me, and it was pretty cool. So I definitely picked that up, which I have, but I'm not going to bother showing because it's tucked away somewhere. But I haven't played it yet, but it seems really fun. So yeah, that's The Green Knight. Again, I reviewed this before, so I already know like a lot of these movies I did review, so I can't really talk heaps about them because I've already done a review on them. But it's good that the last two movies that I have on this list, I have not yet talked about on this channel. So yeah, I'm gonna take some water now. So this one I saw actually at the start of this year. I saw it online, not like torrented copy. Like I watched it on like Google Play, I think. So I like rented it online. This was a movie that I heard a lot of good things about, and I was just going through like the movies that I hadn't seen of 2021, and this was on a list. So I thought I better watch this just to see what it was like. You know, I didn't actually think it was going to end up on my list, but it did, and it was amazing. It was almost number one. Like number one and two are like neck and neck for these two. But number two of 2021, my number two pick of 2021 is the movie Boiling Point. I'm not really sure who the director is. Here, I'll just have a quick look. The director is Philip Baratini, and it stars Stephen Graham, who he's an actor that I've only really seen as like a side character, but he was like a big kind of side character in the movie The Irishman, the Martin Scorsese film. But anyway, Boiling Point, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a movie that takes place on the busiest night of a kitchen, of a restaurant. It all takes place in a kitchen, and it's all like meant to be shot one take. I'm not sure if they, cut edits in there or whatever. I'm pretty sure they would have. It's like an hour and a half long film, but it is the most intense experience. I watched it and I was like, I feel so bad for waitresses and chefs and sous chefs and everything like that. I just felt so bad for them after watching this movie and what they have to endure because of really shitty customers. Not only that, they have a top food reviewer coming to review the dining experience of that night while they're so busy and people don't rock up for their shifts, and it's such an intense experience, and you can just see this mental breakdown that this character's having, and he's also trying to stop people from fighting, and it's just crazy. How it's gonna kind of turn out by the first waitress. So basically the way it's shot is one long take, but it will go somebody will walk past each other and then it'll follow them for a bit, and see what they're going through, and then it will follow another character, and it's done like that, which is a very creative way. And it's not one of those movies that uses the one take as a gimmick. It uses it very good because it utilizes the one long take to show you just in real time how a kitchen can run and how it can fall apart as well, which is it's insane. Very, very insane film. But yeah, no, there's one scene in particular with this film, which I'm not going to try and give away too much, but there's one scene where it's it's an African waitress, and so obviously she's dark skinned, and she I apologize. It's a white girl at the start, and I don't want to be racist or anything. I'm not a racist person, so just keep that in mind. I'm just trying to do this the safest way, but it's a Caucasian woman, and she goes up to this waitress. So she goes up to this table, and she's waiting this table, and they're very nice to her. They're like, "Oh, thank you." They're applauding her work. They really like what she's doing. And then she said, they said, we'll get a bottle of wine for the table. So they're like, yep. She puts the order in. We follow her, put the order in, and then an African dark-skinned waitress, her friend, is like, yeah, I'll take the table now. So she walks over to the table, and just because of her skin color, you can just see the change in their mood, and that sets the tone for the movie. you can just tell the way the customers are. You know, she puts the wine down. She goes to pour the wine in to be polite and pour the wine in, and they just get like aggressive with her for no reason. They just start like yelling at her and telling her to go away and whatever, just because of and like the first thing she said, hi, you know, I'm here to bring you wine, and they're like, what happened to the other waitress? Like straight away, it was a mess, man. And but not only that, just like the main character Stephen Graham, you just see him struggle trying to run this restaurant. And at the very beginning, they show like a health and safety occupant comes in and like is like grading the area and stuff, and it's like it's hard to watch. It is hard to watch at times, but it made my number 2 pick. It is fantastic. I highly recommend Boiling Point. It's great. It's it's insane. It's an insane film. Definitely makes me feel sorry for the people working in the hospitality industry. So so now we are down to our number 1 pick of 2021, and this is one that I know a lot of people have. As soon as I say it, a lot of people are going to turn away. They're going to be like, oh, really, this movie? Like a lot of people despise this, but I guess I might be just biased because I love the filmmaker. I like the director behind it. I love his passion for movies and his passion for storytelling. But the movie that is my number 1 pick of 2021 is Licorice Pizza, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Alana Haim and Cooper Hoffman. It's one of those. A lot of people get bored by just hangout movies, but I like them. I think this movie does it perfectly. It shows like a time period, and it shows like features of the time period. Like there was like a fuel crisis where people weren't getting enough fuel, and there was just bank ups at gas stations and whatever, and also waterbeds was just coming in, so they try their own like waterbed service and things like that, and it's just like it's crazy. It's really cool, and it was a very sweet film. Now, the reason why I know a lot of you are turning your heads or rolling your eyes at this choice, and it's the glaring thing, is the fact that the movie is about like it's the age difference between Alana Haim's character and Cooper Hoffman's character. Cooper Hoffman's character in the film is still in high school. He's like a teenager still, and he's falling in love with an older girl who's like 24 or 5 or something like that. And they hang out and they get up to trouble and whatever. But the movie never does anything explicit, not as explicit as the movie Red Rocket by Sean Baker, which is really good. That would have been on the list, but yeah, because just that movie's different in the way like it shows the relationship. Like it's more in the way of like, you know how sleazy that guy is, the main character, but like there's more to it than that. But this movie, and I'm not condoning the thought of the age difference and relationships between age. I'm not condoning any of that. I just think it works for this movie because you got to realize this movie is set in it's set in a different period of time where it wasn't looked at the same way we look at it now. You know, even if they're, you know, it's the roles, okay? So if it was a guy with a younger girl in that time period, it'd still be like terrible, it'd be a terrible thing. But in that time period, if it was a younger guy looking at an older girl, it's like nothing. And I know that's terrible, I know it's a bad thing, but it's just, that's what it was like in that period, and that's what Paul Thomas Anderson was doing. He wasn't condoning it. All right, it's just what happened in that time period. It was not looked at like that. Nowadays, if a younger guy got with an older girl, it would just seem weird. It would just be very bad, and it shouldn't happen. It definitely shouldn't happen. But yeah. But in this movie, it's more of a friendship rather than like a relationship. I will say that. Nothing even ever happens with the film. I don't even think they even kiss in the film. So it was just like nothing happens in terms of that. So you can even just look at this as a younger guy befriending an older girl, and they're just getting up to kind of trouble and whatnot. So yeah, that's the way I look at it. It's not. I didn't stress too much about the age difference or whatever like that, because I looked at it as more of like this hangout film and just kind of like young kids getting up to mischief, and that's what I enjoyed. It's my number one pick for 2021. So my number one pick is Licorice Pizza for 2021. So that's my winner of 2021 for best movies. So yeah, man, that was a big list. I had to get through a lot of them. It took me an hour to get through all of them. See, if I would have been recording for an hour and then having to edit it all, and that would have been a nightmare, as well as like trying to do a channel update and everything. So I just thought, why not do it all in one live stream? So yeah, I'm definitely going to do more live streams like once a month or so. Just to go through some movie news and catch up on all that sort of stuff, and then just have my edited movie reviews that I'm going to upload. So yeah, now would be a good time to just say, make sure to like the video if you did like the video. If you didn't, that's completely fine. But I will say that there is a link to my Letterboxd account down below. You'll be able to see my list as well as my other lists of my favorite movies and just my 10 best movies of 2021. So you can definitely check that out on my Letterboxd account, which is in the link below, which is just Mainly Movies 1. And also there will be a link to my gaming channel, Mainly Gaming, which is a lot of live streams of gaming, of games at the moment. And so yeah, we're getting some viewers now. After I did my list, so I'll just quickly run off the list then. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just will this show? Cool. All right. There we go. So right there, that is my So that's my list of 10 best movies of 2021. So we have number 10, we have T-Tane. Number 9, we have Dune. And then number 8, we have The Last Duel. And then we have Spencer at number 7, Pig at number 6, Foul at number 5, Nitrum at number 4, The Green Knight at number 3, The Boiling Point at number 2, and Licorice Pizza at number 1. And so I've got Do You Play Evil Dead? Yes, I do play Evil Dead, and I will play it with you after this live stream. I'm sorry, I know I said I will play it. It's alright, I know that guy, so it's all good. Yes, I do play Evil Dead. That's a good question. He is also the one I saw the movie Pig with, so great movie Pig. It was awesome. The Evil Dead game is actually pretty fun. I do kind of want to, hold on. I do want to play the Evil Dead game like on Mainly Gaming. Like I want to do a live stream or just some sort of video on that game because it's actually really fun. I haven't played a whole lot of it, but from what I've played with my friends, it's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun time. So yeah, so definitely check out the Mainly Gaming channel. There's a lot going on there, so check out that one and my Facebook page. So whenever I go live, I will put it up on my Facebook page first, saying that I'm going to be going live either tonight or next week or whatever. So then now you get the preview. I will try and make a video saying that I'm going live, but whatever. So was a great movie To the guy who gets yelled at by Nick Cage. Yeah, I know that was. I did mention that there was a guy that gets yelled at by Nick Cage. It was so funny. It was great. It was hilarious. Yeah. So, yeah, rip that guy, man. He didn't deserve to get yelled at, especially after witnessing somebody steal a bike just from a house. It was. It's funny. It's crazy. It's a crazy movie. So yeah, looking forward to making some more of these live streams. I want to do some more. I also want to balance it out with my gaming channel that I have now. And yeah, some more live streams. I am really looking forward to doing the Halloween horror special. I hope it comes sooner because I love making those videos, especially with my the theme that I have in mind, which is the sequels edition. So going through a lot. I don't want to do too much of the sequels of the movies that I did last year. I want to go through. I want to do some original ones like VHS 2 or off the top of my head, I can't even really think, but I do want to do Hellraiser 2 because I actually generally want to watch that movie, not just for just to review it, but just to watch it because I haven't seen it yet. And I was a pretty big fan of Hellraiser 1. So for those people who are watching, don't be afraid to ask any questions. You can ask me anything you want now. Now would be probably the time because I don't know when I'm going soon. So, but yeah. So if you want to ask me anything, again, I want to be doing some more live streams. So for those of you who didn't catch this one, that will catch it next. Who watched this afterwards. You can catch the next one. I'll make it clear when the next one's going to be coming out. I want to do them once a month or maybe 2 a month or whatever. But I basically want to be going more through movie news and discussing movies and things like that. Sort of like a podcast, but not really. It's just a live stream of me yapping on about shit. Got to do Hellraiser marathon perhaps. That would be a very good idea. I do like the Hellraiser movies. But that's a good question because I just want to quickly know. Damn, I have all caps on. I don't like that. It's funny. I'm just having a quick suss of how many Hellraiser movies are there because you say that we can do a Hellraiser movie marathon, but there are 1, 2, 3. There's 10 Hellraiser movies, and then they're still planning on making more. So that's a lot of hours. That's that's over 30 hours there of just watching the Hellraiser movies, which I think that the quality gets worse and worse as the movies go along. But it's they look terrible. There's one called Hellworld where it looks like the Matrix. That shit looks dope. These are there's one Hellraiser Revolutions which came out in 2011, but I've heard Hellbound Hellraiser 2 I've heard is pretty cool. Hellraiser Weekend, holy shit! I don't even think you can fit 10 of these movies in one weekend. It's crazy. I didn't realize that. I knew there was a lot of them, but I didn't realize there's almost as many Friday the 13th as that. I think there's 12 or 13 Friday the 13th. So getting in Hellworld is beast. Cool. Well, I have to check that out. That's 2005 Hellworld. Drink while watching them, so you get drunker and drunker as they get worse and worse. Well, I mean, apparently Hellworld is pretty good. That's what? Therefore, that's the 6th one that's in this order. So maybe they get better by the more they go on, the better they get. Hellworld is apparently really good, so I want to watch that now. I want to go through the Hellraiser movies. They seem pretty cool, and they all have really cool front covers and shit. So yeah, but Hellbound Hellraiser 2 is one that I want to watch. I really liked Hellraiser 1. It was it just screams the 80s for me. It was crazy, but it was also so intensely gory, man. Like they did a lot of really cool practical effects with that movie. If there's any if there's any sequels to like horror movies that you want me to do, like just like it has to be sequels though because that's the theme that I'm going for. If there's any sequels to horror movies, I will review them in October when I do my Halloween. So my favorite scary movie, man, I don't know. That's a hard one. Um, I don't know. Favorite scary movie, that is a hard one. Because I don't really get scared by horror movies anymore. But the last one that I watched that actually generally frightened me was like VHS, the first one. That was actually generally pretty frightening. And it was also like something I hadn't really seen before. I also do like As Above, So Below is a very good found footage horror movie, underrated as well. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend As Above, So Below. It's actually a pretty cool time. The ending is so trippy, but like the whole movie is very trippy as well. But it's just done very well. It's very good. It's a movie that try and like, I guess try and keep like stay with it because the first 15 to 20 minutes are like kind of boring and they're very it's very different to the rest of the movie. But when they get into the catacombs of London, it's terrifying. Can you do the new Halloween that comes out this year? I definitely will be reviewing the new Halloween. It probably won't be a part of the Halloween horror special. I'll try and make it. Depends on when it comes out and when I see it. But Halloween Kills last year, that came out last year. I did that as part of a Halloween horror special. I'm pretty sure. Or no, I think I did it as just a regular review. But the goal is with the Halloween horror specials is on Halloween I always like to upload one of the Halloween franchise movies. So last year I did Halloween 2. So this year I get to finally watch Halloween 3, which is one that people always go on about, which is awesome. I get to finally watch Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which I know so much about that movie that I feel like I've already watched the movie already. So, but I get to, I do want to watch Halloween Ends. I hope that Halloween Ends is as gory as Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills is like, it's not even a very good movie, but it was a good movie to watch because of how brutal and how like messed up the kills were. And it was so crazy. And just the fact that like Michael Myers just could not die. It was like a boss fight in a video game. It just hit nobody wanted to actually. It was like nobody actually wanted to kill him, to be honest, because there was so many times where the dude was on the ground and they could have just bashed his head in, or they could have shot him, or they could have done something to just finish the job. But no, like they knew that another sequel had to be made, so they just left him there, and he just got back up in the like Michael Myers way. And that final like part where he just kills everybody in a row, that was awesome. And he kills like the firefighters at the start. Crazy shit. It was crazy shit. Yeah. So I do plan on doing Halloween Ends, and the movie's called Halloween Ends, but goddamn, we all know it's not going to end. We know that even if it's not what's his name, David Gordon Green doing it, that another filmmaker will come along and want to make another fucking Halloween movie with different actors, and it'll be like they'll cut out they'll cut out like a lot of the canon, and it'll make it be like the first one never existed, but they continue from the second one, like shit like that. I don't know. They're gonna make more shit, but yeah, crazy stuff. So yeah, the top 10 movies. What's everyone's top 10 movies from 2021, or even like your top 3 movies from 2021? Because there was a lot of fantastic movies that came out last year. But man, it's been so long since I've like done a video on this channel. It's crazy. What happened since now between the Oscars this year was a fucking disaster. How crazy was that? Some guy got slapped on stage. What a shit fun fest. That was crazy. It was almost to the point where it was like they knew like that they weren't getting many views on the Oscars anymore, so they were just like, hey, Will Smith go up there and slap the shit out of Chris Rock. And then so he did. Oh man, that was crazy. I didn't even give a fuck about the Oscars this year. I was at work and I was just like kind of keeping up with who won what. And then I just go on Facebook and it says like Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, and I was like, oh man, no way. Tell me this is real. And it was crazy. I don't know if that was like I'm still on the fence about it. A lot of people still think it's stage. I don't know. I hope it's I know it's real. It's kind of been established that it was real. He was talking smack about him, so he just went up and hit him. Don't worry, I'm not starting a debate. Nobody jump in being like trying to bully everyone because you think Will Smith was in the wrong. I don't care either way. It's up to you how you feel about it. But yeah, so Will Smith, he slapped someone. But oh yeah, man, you know what? Then now's a good time to actually go through Oscar. What the oh shit, man? I'm still in caps. Oscar winning movies 2022, is that what we call it now? I can't even remember what. Alright, here we go. Yeah, so we got the winners. Let's just. Damn, they don't have like the runner up, but we'll just quickly go through these, just in case if you missed out. You probably already know this, and it's one Google search away. So, Best Picture winner was the movie Coda, which I still haven't seen yet. I've heard fantastic things about it. I just don't have Apple TV, so I don't know. Like, is there another way I can watch it? I don't know. Best Actor was Will Smith for King Richard. That was so funny how he also slaps someone and then wins an Oscar. I mean, what the fuck? Crazy shit. Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. She won Best Actress. Still haven't seen that movie, so I don't know why. Best original song was Billie Eilish and Phineas, No Time to Die. I did like that opening. It was actually pretty cool. No Time to Die was pretty cool. Drive My Car, international feature film. Still haven't seen it, so I can't really say much about that. Encanto, best animated feature. I haven't seen it. Dune was the best original score. I agree. I don't know. It depends on what the runners-up were. The runner-ups were. I can't remember. Jane Campion, I think that's how you pronounce her name, won the best director for Power of the Dog. Troy Kotsur, best supporting actor in Coda. Summer of Soul, or best documentary feature. Questlove. Oh, that's from the guy from Roots. From The Roots. Ariana DeBose, best supporting actor in West Side Story. And The Long Goodbye, live action short film with Riz Ahmed. Belfast was best original screenplay by Kenneth Branagh. Coda, best adapted screenplay by Sian Heder or something. I can't remember. And The Windshield Wiper, best animated short film. Dune, best Dune, best visual effects. The Queen of Basketball, best short documentary. Dune was the best film editing. Dune for best cinematography. Cruella for best costume design. That was one of the early ones that they went through, and I remember being like, what the fuck? That one best costume design? Like, what have... Nightmare Alley had 10 times better. Like, I would have picked that, but, you know, the Oscars go through. Who cares? Dune for production design. That was a good one. I can admit that. Dune got, like... How many did Dune get? 6? Eyes of Tammy Faye for best makeup and hairstyling. Yeah, I guess, yeah. And Dune for best sound, even though the sound was like one of the negatives of that movie because it was like crazy big shit. But, who cares? Um, yeah, so they're the winners of the Oscar of 2022. Shit from last year. I don't know. It gets really confusing every now and then. Anyway, I feel like I need to play Evil Dead now because I've got people telling me to play it. So I'm probably going to be jumping on that right now. So I'm going to end the stream. It was actually really, really fun doing this stream. Going through my favorite movies of last year, and hopefully you guys got an idea of where the channel's going, where it's coming. I don't. I didn't mean it like that. Where the channel's going and where I've been for the past couple of months. So, yeah. So I'm gonna end the stream now. There'll be reviews coming soon. I want to do a video on. I want to do a review on like all the movies that I kind of missed, and I also want to do some other shit. I've also got another message here. So Mr. Bubbles, his is. I hope you don't mind me reading out your favorite list on here, but I mean it's in the comments section, so I'm going to read it out. So number 1 is Dune. Cool. Damn, like Dune that much. Awesome. That's actually really good to hear. Number 2 is Pig. Nightmare Alley, number 3. Nice. It's good to see that movie getting some love. I don't know why it was on here. It's probably like my 11th, probably. 5, Spider-Man No Way Home. Did No Way Home come out last year? Man, I missed that shit. Like, I watched it only like a couple of weeks ago. So, number 6, The Little Things. Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that movie with this person. So, Mortal Kombat, No Time to Die was good. And Tick Tick Boom. Tick Tick Boom. Oh, that's the Andrew Garfield one. Dude, I missed that movie. I need to watch that. I'm glad you put that on number 10 because that kind of reminded me as well. Number 9 was Fast 9. Okay, sorry, I missed that one. Tick Tick Boom. Cool. I like that list. That's a good list. They're 10 of mine last year. It's hard to find 10 as well. Like 5 is easy, 3 is even easier because it's just less movies to think about. But 10 can be pretty hard. That's why there's movies like Nightmare Alley that I missed that I should that I definitely need to catch up on. Yes, it is on Netflix. It's the movie about the guy who wrote Rent, or did the he created the play Rent. So yeah, that's pretty tight. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm probably going to end the stream. Thank you for everyone who watched, and thank you for everyone who's going to watch when the video gets fully uploaded. So I am going to stop the stream now, but yeah. So just quickly, if you want to subscribe, definitely subscribe. That would mean a lot. Like the video if you want to. I'm terrible at I don't want to force anyone to do anything. You can do what you want. Subscribe if you want to, but yeah, you don't have to. I'm not one of those people that are telling you to do things. So, but if you do just subscribe, you will see my videos, my reviews, and my live streams when I do more. Yeah, he wrote the play Rent. Yeah, okay. So I'm thinking about the same movie because for some reason my mind went to that Bo Burnham movie Inside because that's a Netflix original. It's weird. But, yeah, so definitely stay tuned to the channel. There's going to be more coming out, reviews. I want to do a Top Gun Maverick review, so that'll be pretty cool. But also, yeah, so make sure to check out my Mainly Movies channel. The link will be in the description box below, as well as my Letterboxd account, where you can see my lists, my diaries, and some of the movies that I might not get a chance to review. And also I also do my general movies that I just watch at home. I put them on there as well, so you get to see my my diary and what I've been watching. So and my thoughts on a lot of movies. So yeah, so definitely hit those links down below, and my Facebook page. You'll get to see when I upload my videos, and also my when I'm going to go live. I'm going to put it up on my Facebook page, so you'll get a notification then. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching the stream. Thank you for joining the stream, for everyone who did. Thank you for the comments, the lovely comments. So yeah, I'm going to end the stream now. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.